We are live here on a Friday, and many times I will tell you my appeal is I'm going to give you, hopefully, with hard work and determination, real deal, not the BS that you get by watching or observing or listening. I want to talk about something that's a little bit ancillary, it's a little more geared towards sports, but what the hell? The Oakland A's no longer, we get all that. But their whole Sacramento existence is regularly, every day, every night that they play there, it's all bullshit personified. Not the team's performance, not its players, but the team. And I'm going to explain to you in detail what I've heard, what I've backed up, what I have now found out. Some things that are so trivial, so outlandish, yet this organization gets away with it every day and every night. They play up there. And they're getting roundly booed and criticized and ripped and lampooned and satirized by the opposition, the teams having to go into the minor league ballpark, which they play, where they play. And there are people out there who have some balls, some cajones, some stones, like the Texas Rangers broadcaster who complained on the air and called the whole situation in Sacramento, called them out for the satire, the ridiculousness that needs to be called out. I'm going to get more specific because this media BS put forth by normally respectable people needs to be called out. Now, for those of you not into this sports thing who could give a damn about where the A's play or where they do or whatever they do or where they, are headed, sorry, I'm going to beg your indulgence for a little while. The Sacramento A's, they're not referred to in that manner. They're the Athletics. They don't even have a city. Routinely, there's been discussions that they haven't sold out this stadium. They may have sold it out the first couple of games. And even the second game, there was vast amounts of empty seats. There have been vast amounts of empty seats, yet the reporting has been they're selling out. Okay? Bullshit. The camera angles, those of you that watch on television, the cameramen have been told and have been put in a position to where the empty seats down the lines have been magically disappearing. And therefore you see mostly human beings or whatever they put in there. But it's all bull. The angles have been duly put in place where you don't see the empty seats. Those are a little bit cosmetic, but let's go further. They're play-by-play broadcasters. The one especially who does the pre and post game shows, a guy by the name of Mr. Townsend, Chris Townsend, can't say Oakland, has been lectured not to even utter the phrase Oakland. Think about that for a minute. Has been lectured, has been cautioned about even going down that road for fear of being in trouble, for fear of maybe being written up, put on your file, and yes, downright termination. Want to know why they don't discuss or even say Oakland? But it goes beyond there. Their own play-by-play broadcasters. And I've commented and talked to you folks about this embarrassment every day Well, at least when they're not at home and on the road. This Jenny Kavnar, part of their own in-house ass kissers. I mean, she's a horrible broadcaster, but they have been lectured not to discuss anything outside of baseball. Okay. Can't say Oakland. Can't say refer to last year when you're referring to records and things of that nature. There's not even an O or anything of that nature. And they take this very seriously now. This is an image conscious organization who've lost many, many, many of their longtime employees. The owner is a complete embarrassment. I can go on and on about him, but I'm going to leave him out of the conversation. But what has happened nationally, those brave enough, as I said, the opposing team's broadcasters, not just on television, but radio too, have called out this team for making false, cosmetic, out and out lies with regards to tickets, with regards to attendance. How many people are in the building? It's a small building to begin with. You know, they've tried to modify the operation around the building there in Sacramento with makeshift tool sheds, tool sheds that they use where the press goes. But because there's no real organized press, their own main coverage in Sacramento is diluted because the Sacramento Bee really doesn't cover them for reasons having to do with their own finances. But the team, broadcasters, radio and television, have been duly told not to talk about Oakland, not to even bring it up, not to even discuss, even in ancillary descriptions about that. I've been told, and this has not been reported, and this has not been even discussed, that if you walk into their ballpark, even wearing an Oakland jersey, they will ask you to take it off. They will make you take it off. Seriously, I'm not kidding. The pregame host guy, Townsend, is a complete and utter ass kisser. Will not go into detail. What I'm sure it's not only he who knows, he won't get into it and discuss it because he wants to feed his family, I guess. This is a guy supposedly who had a moneyed family, but won't discuss anything controversial with regards to the Oakland A's or talk about what I've just described with camera angles that have been purposely put forth to make sure that they don't see empty seats, that the attendance issues, which have been largely ignored by whatever local Sacramento, for that matter, Bay Area media, you don't hear a lot of that. The irony of all ironies, the biggest source of the outing of these discrepancies and outright lies have been teams, organizations opposing broadcasters who come in, like this gentleman, Mr. Raymond from Texas, who talked about this being a disgrace, who discussed the fact, why are they playing in this minor league ballpark and all that, and the obfuscation taking place on a regular basis. And people who have blogs out there and talked about this and have little shows on the internet, on YouTube, discussing this, they're the ones who go out on a limb and, yes, openly question and discuss all these lies and transform this BS out there so you, the public, can know about it, even those of you that are not into baseball and all that. Some of it is done quite clearly, very sternly under the barometer of whatever truth mechanism exists. Some of it, if they get lectures every day, they want to make it seem as if it's Shangri-La. It ain't. It ain't. Now, I'm not going to say the A's longtime broadcaster, Mr. Korak, is involved because that wouldn't be truthful. But I wish he would also be more transparent. But we're not going to go into details on that subject. I'm just discussing things that I've heard, that I know about, and I want it on the record, and I want it to be in the open. The next time, if you're inclined to be a Major League Baseball fan and follow this pathetic organization, you should know when you're watching, caution, not everything you see or view is germane with something, that little itsy bitsy thing called the truth.